sound of a heavy file drawer opening, a folder being placed on a desk, a single sharp click of a pen. Some files you never truly close. You just learn to live with them, sitting in the back of the cabinet, radiating a certain cold. The file on the SS Ourang Medan is the first, the pilot case for this archive. It's a ghost story, yes, but a ghost story with a bill of lading and a registration number. This is not just a tale to tell around a fire. This is evidence. Evidence of a profound and lethal silence. This is the full investigation. Our subject is the SS Ourang Medan. The name means Man from Medan, a Dutch freighter, unremarkable in its design, plying the trade routes of the East Indies in the years after the Second World War, a time of chaos, of shifting borders and old empires crumbling, a perfect time for things to get lost. Officially, her cargo was mundane. Unofficially, the ship doesn't appear in most shipping registers. It's a ghost even before the story begins. A ghost carrying something from a port unknown to a destination it would never reach. Its final voyage began in the summer of 1947. Its final broadcast was a scream sent out across the Strait of Malacca. The signal was picked up by two listening posts, a British station in Singapore and an American merchant ship, the Silver Star, navigating the same treacherous waters. The transmission was Morse. It was frantic. SOS from Ourang Medan. We float. All officers, including captain, are dead in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole crew dead. The Morse was unsteady, as if the operator was losing control. Then a pause, followed by a final garbled string of characters, and then two words sent in clear, desperate code. I die. After that, only silence. The Silver Star, being the closer of the two, altered its course, an act of maritime duty that would seal its own fate. The Silver Star sighted the Medan adrift under the oppressive sun. No smoke from its stack, no flag on its mast, no response to their horns. The ship was eerily, unnaturally quiet. The American captain assembled a boarding party. From the moment they stepped on deck, the scene was wrong. The crew was there, all of them, scattered across the decks, in the chart room, on the bridge, all dead. Their bodies were frozen like macabre statues. Every single one of them, and the ship's dog, a small terrier, was found on their back, faces turned towards a sun they could no longer see. Their eyes were wide open, in a rictus of sheer terror. Their arms were outstretched, grasping, but there were no signs of violence, no wounds. The bodies were, as the report later noted with clinical confusion, perfectly intact. The boarding party moved through the ship, room by room, the same tableau of horror. On the bridge, the captain dead. In the communications room, the radio operator, his fingers still on the telegraph key, his face a mask of silent screaming. The American captain, a seasoned sailor, noted a deep, unnatural chill in the air, despite the blistering equatorial heat. The feeling, he said, was of a nameless dread. They decided to tow the vessel to port, to let the authorities dissect this mystery. It was a fatal mistake. No official investigation was ever truly completed because the evidence was removed. But the theories remain, buried in memoranda and forgotten reports. First, pirates. The Strait of Malacca was and is a haven for them, but pirates take things. Nothing was stolen. The cargo was untouched. The crew's valuables were still on their bodies. Ruled out. Second, an undocumented hazardous material. This is the most compelling official theory. The story goes the Medan was smuggling something, perhaps nitroglycerin, unstable and sweating in the heat, or, more likely, something the world wasn't supposed to know about yet, nerve agents captured from the Japanese or the Germans after the war, a cocktail of potassium cyanide and seawater, producing a deadly cloud of hydrogen cyanide. It would explain the swift deaths, but it doesn't explain the expressions. It doesn't explain the terror. This brings me to the more esoteric files. Infrasound, low-frequency sound waves below the threshold of human hearing, generated by a faulty engine or a unique atmospheric condition, a perfect storm of acoustics. Infrasound doesn't just damage the ears, it vibrates the organs. It can induce a state of profound anxiety, dread, and visual hallucinations. It could make a man feel a presence that isn't there. It could, theoretically, frighten a man to death. And then there's the final theory, the one the old sailors in the port bars whisper about, that the Ourang Medan was not just a ship, but a lure, that it strayed into a part of the ocean that doesn't exist on any map, and it met something that lives there, that the crew did not simply die, they were consumed. Just before the ship exploded, as it was being towed, the boarding party from
The Silver Star swore they saw something shift in the Maiden's cargo hold. Not a fire, not smoke, a movement, as if the shadows themselves were rearranging. The explosion wasn't an accident. It was a final, desperate act of self-defense by whatever was on that ship. The file remains open because the primary evidence destroyed itself. And sometimes that's the most telling clue of all.
Consider the violence of that destruction. It was not a gradual burn, it was a sudden, violent erasure. As the Silver Star's tow line snapped and the American crew watched from their lifeboats, the Ourang Medan didn't just sink, it seemed to be pulled under, the water boiling with a ferocity that defied the calm seas. By the time the smoke cleared, not a single piece of debris remained on the surface. No life jackets, no oil slick, no bodies. It was as if the ocean had developed a sudden, localized amnesia. The Silver Star's logbook was later confiscated. The men who boarded that ghost ship were debriefed in windowless rooms, then scattered to different ports. But the accounts they left behind all whisper the same haunting detail. They didn't see a fire start in the hold. They saw a void. We are left with a ledger that doesn't balance. Perhaps the Ourang Medan was never a ship at all, but a localized thinning of the world. A place where the lethal silence we fear isn't the absence of sound, but the presence of something that has no name. The crew's faces weren't frozen in fear of a man or a gas. They were looking at the fundamental wrongness of the universe, and their hearts simply gave up the ghost before the shadows could claim them. The file is back in the cabinet now, but the cold remains. Some ships, once they sail into the dark, never truly stop sailing. This investigation is closed, but the archive itself is vast. There are other drawers, other signals, from the vanishing keepers of the Flannan Isles to the impossible lights in the skies over Kentucky. The anomalies are waiting. If you have the nerve to see what I pull from the shelves next, you need to register your clearance now. Hit the seal, join the agency, because the next file, it makes the Ourang Medan look like a fairy tale. I'll see you in the next briefing.